Hi everybody. Okay. There's two reasons I waited to do this video. Number one, I wasn't sure what the weather was gonna do, and number two, I had to watch Law and Order and Law and Order SVU, which I'll do videos about them tomorrow. Okay. But remember I told you I had some ideas about Bill Spencer, and I hadn't really done a video about him alone. So here it goes. Well, as you all may or may not know, Bill Spencer is played by the wonderful Don Diamont, and he played Brad Carlton on the YNR before Bold and Beautiful. Okay, so I have to give a little history first. Um, as you all know, also, Heather Tom played Victoria Newman as a teenager up until whenever, I don't know exactly when they arrested her to be Amelia Heinley, right? Okay, and SORAS means soap opera rapid aging syndrome. Okay, so Heather Thomas said in interviews before that she was kind of hurt that by the time she was a good age to be with Brad Carlton, the Don Diamont wasn't on the show anymore. And since Bill Bell and the Bell family runs both YNR and Bold, she pleaded with Bill Bell to write her in a storyline with Don Diamont. Ergo would be Bill Spencer, Katie, Logan, relationship, marriage, all that. I think. And yeah, you can see the chemistry that they have. But I think that it's the kind of chemistry that comes from friendship, and you're going to have it the rest of your life, but that doesn't automatically mean it's going to be romantic chemistry. The thing with that is that if it's your best friend, you could run into the trouble of if you don't stoke the fires of passion, it turns into a friendly chemistry, which is fine, but you don't want that in a romantic relationship. And also, playing devil's advocate here, I am a huge fan of the Katie and Carter relationship. So I was vehemently opposed to her getting back together with Bill, and that was one of the main reasons for my opposition. Um, However, uh, I don't know if I don't know if it's the way the character's written or the way Don Diamont acts it also. But he has a very alpha personality. Um, and also combined with he's a business conglomerate. So he has a lot of money, then he has an attitude. So that combined makes you think, can make a man think that he can have any woman he wants, which may or may not be true. Um, so we see it in his relationships, although I give a short history. Um, he was with Sheila. Well, I'll just go back a year, okay? He was with Sheila for a time, although the chemistry they had was fake or made up by him because he just saw her as a means to an end. He knew that if he pushed the right buttons, then she would say the right things to get herself convicted and ultimately sent to prison for a long time, or so they thought. And the whole storyline was, I don't know, I'd say far fetched in my opinion because of the way they gathered the evidence. You would think that evidence would be foolproof, but then it came out later that it wasn't gathered in a legal fashion, therefore made it irrelevant. Um, and yeah, it was kind of like not funny, but kind of funny because you got Torsten K and Don Diamont working together, which Ridge Forrester and Bill Spencer working together. Yeah. Yeah, I don't really see that. Plus, Torsten K was his hair until somebody told him to cut it. um, okay, so there's a relationship that's not a relationship because, okay, a relationship has to be both parties. If it's one sided, one way or the other, it's not a relationship. So, so this is all to say that I think that the relationship that Bill Spencer had with Poppy uh, way back in the day, at least 20 years ago, um, that was a magical night, which they both allude to, um, was probably the most real relationship he's had in a long time, barring the one with Katie Logan. Um, which is why it's kind of weird to say, but I want them to be happy, yes, obviously. But I've discussed this many times. Soap operas and happiness, not a good combo. If you're happy, they have to mess with your happiness. They'll give you 6 months to a year of happy. Okay, and I can give you facts to back this up. All right. Okay. Say they have a couple, they go through the whole thing, and they get married. I guarantee you, a year to the date they get married, there's going to be some kind of problem or some kind of, I don't know, situation that might lead to separation. A year. They'll give him max a year. And then there has to be some kind of trouble, some kind of instigator thrown in the relationship to either test it or break it up. And I say test it or break it up because it depends on what they want to do with your character or what they want to do with your coupling. Okay, if there's not a lot of audience, either interaction or enjoyment out of your couple, they might split you up. But if you're going to be a soap couple and like soap royalty, um, they're still going to try to break you up, but it's going to be to test your relationship. And no matter what, like, if you're really going to be a super couple or whatever they call it these days, you're going to go through a lot of trials and tribulations, but you're going to weather everything they throw at you. But even then, okay, like, look at, now this is going way back, I know, 1981, but look at Luke and Laura, okay? They were supposed to be the couple to beat all couples, and ultimately they separated and divorced. So, but they gave them 20 good years before, something happened. So, um, I really hope that the thing with the relationship or the whatever that's starting with Poppy and Bill will stand the test of time a little bit because, well, I fight for the underdog, number one. And number two, I like the chemistry they have. And number three, and kind of because I'm slightly twisted, I want to see Lee get really upset, but then Poppy ultimately win. Maybe because I'm the youngest in my family too. So, yeah. Um, but those are my hopes and dreams, and there's my little ode to Bill Spencer. So.